Hello, friends. I'm going live on Instagram right now at 8 p.m. Answering questions. It's been a scheduled Friday date night with a bunch of people who have questions about how to stay positive and live with more clarity, focus, and flow. So this has been set up and it's being hosted by Diane Oliveira, and we are starting right now. So I'm going live. Feel free to join in, grab your favorite beverage, grab your favorite whatever, tea, coffee, wine, Prosecco, right? The sun is setting, so let's have a nice, positive, fun date night tonight, okay? So here we go. I'm going to go live. They're all waiting on the other end here.
So last year I became certified to teach body combat at Good Life.
Wow, there's a lot of them. And
there, it's super fun for work. There she is!
Hi.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now that she's joined, what happens next, Penny? You asked to get invited, or I invite you?
Yeah, I think you have to invite me. Let me request. Let me request. There we go. I think I just let myself in.
We did it.
Did you let me in, or did I let myself in?
We did it. I let you in.
Oh, did you? Okay. Awesome. You know what? The sun is setting. It's so beautiful. So I'm just.
See you now. What happens? I'm already so freaking hyped at you next. Jazz.
Oh, this is great. Lots of great people here. The sun is setting. It's beautiful. So don't mind this. It's going to go away pretty soon. I mean, it's too pretty not to sit here, right? So, yeah. So, hi, how's everybody doing?
Love it. We're good.
You're good.
We're getting warmed up. I was just giving a bit of a spiel for anyone.
Why don't you finish what you were saying?
Sharing how last year, again, just to kind of get verbatim, I summarized in the question of how do I get honest with myself about what I really want and collect the courage to go all in.
Yep.
That is my empowerment call question to you, Miss Penny Phang.
I know you were talking. I know you guys all. Hello, everyone. You know, I know you're looking for that flow, or you're looking for that clarity. I know we all are, right? Everybody is. But here's the thing. To find that flow, that's where the answers are. That's where you kind of get guided to do what you need to do. You get, impulses to make a left instead of a right. You suddenly feel like turning on the TV when you don't normally watch TV. That's a flow. Something is coming through you, like an impulse to do these things that suddenly, because you made that left turn, you run into somebody that you were meant to meet. Or you turn on the TV when you don't really watch TV at, whatever time it is, and then something pops up and you're like, oh my goodness, I gotta go to that event, or that just gave me the best idea. So when you're in the flow zone, you get these type of things. We call them coincidences. But coincidence, it means you're in alignment. It means you're in flow. But because we dismiss it as coincidence, it becomes very easy for us not to appreciate those little moments where they synchronize. So we don't see very much of them. But the more we appreciate them, the more we see them, that is a sign that you're in flow zone. So if you're not feeling like you're seeing a lot of those coincidences as much, then chances are you're not in flow zone. And the only way to be in flow zone is to follow your ease. See, we were not taught from a young age. Instead, we were taught completely opposite. Now we have to kind of reverse that training, that conditioning all these years, which is so tough to do, right? To reverse conditioning, but can be done. It just cannot be done overnight. It can be done gradually as long as you're willing to grow and wanting to change. So what I mean by following your ease is we think that things have to be so hard in order for it to be right. If it's easy, it's too easy. That means not meant to be. It's too easy. We're just not used to loving ourselves enough. And I have to learn this. And I'm still learning it. I'm always getting better, but I'm still learning. We don't love ourselves enough or think we're worthy enough that things can be flowing and easy for us. So anytime it's easy, fun, flowing, happy, anything of that nature, we tend to sabotage it a little bit by being skeptical, by doing things subconsciously, maybe not unbeknownst to ourselves, to kind of sabotage it because it's meant to be hard, but it's not. What is meant for you is supposed to flow for you. And the only way to find that flow and that clarity is to follow your ease. That means do the things that make you feel at least minimal at ease. Anything more is amazing, right? But if you can follow the minimum first, which is the ease. Ease meaning like, if going for a walk makes you feel more easy right now than trying to make music, go for a walk. If having a glass of wine and just relaxing right now is easier than really trying to write a song, do that. Because what happens is we put so much pressure on ourselves. You got to write that song. You got to perform. I'm not getting a gig. I need to get that gig. It's got to be every Friday. It's got to be this. I got to make money. All of a sudden, where is the ease in that? There is no ease in the love of your life, the thing you love to do, whether it's your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your work, your music, your singing, your talent. If there is no ease or flow in that space, then you cannot have clarity. Then you cannot grow. You're almost kind of stuck. You grow a little bit, and then you have that restriction. You put resistance to it. Then you stop growing. And then you grow a little bit, you get that gig, you write that song, and then boom, and then stuck again. Because we haven't been trained to be consistent with our focus. So we focus for a moment, and then suddenly we stop focusing because something distracts us. And then we're like, oh, somebody told me that I wasn't good enough, so maybe this is not really, meant for me. And then we ruin it. Or
I think I need to work hard again.
Yes, I need to work hard.
Like I got to a certain plateau.
Yes. Or they say that I better make it by 35. If I don't, then it's end. It's game over. Who came up with all that crap?
Right.
First of all, you look around. Life has changed so much and so quickly, and it's a really good sign. They say people don't make it, and when they turn 40, there's no way you can become an actress or model. There are models and actresses and musicians that literally don't even make it till they're 50 or 60 or 70, so age is, all of those are old stories. And these old stories have to be replaced with new stories. So until we are willing to replace those stories, we're going to keep living in that past. The past cannot create the future. It just can't. You wake up, immediately you think of the past. What happened yesterday? Oh, I got to go to that gig. That's the only thing I can do. That's the only thing I deserve. I have to go get a job. How am I going to pay for this? Oh my goodness. Those are all living in the past memories. So if every morning you wake up living in the past, then there's no way we can create the future. And if we do, it's sort of mediocre at best. And that's what I had to learn. And I still learn it, right? I'm a student and a teacher simultaneously because I have to always teach what I know, but continue to learn my next level. So I'm teaching you and showing and sharing the things I understand and what has worked for me or my clients that are very powerful. So I'm just going to cut to the chase and just give you the bottom line, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to be super sweet and quiet and soft. Whatever comes out of me while I'm having a conversation is coming from a higher place. So I can't control it. Like I sometimes get off a conversation with you or anybody, and I don't even remember what I said because something's taking over and the information has to come through. I'm just going to let it take over, and it's coming through. And it's saying, all this stuff that happened. So when you asked me that question, it was so powerful because I couldn't just answer you by saying, hey, do more of what you love, go practice. No, because it was so much more than that. It goes deeper. The reason this whole world has come to a standstill, time has stopped, because you guys asked for it. You're like, I need more time. I don't know what I want. I need more time. I'm stressed. How do I make money and still do what I love? We collectively created this energy where time literally stands still and go, listen. Go find yourself. Don't make any excuses. You got no excuse now because you can't say you got no time because there's all the time in the freaking world right now. So if you're going to be home, you can't say, what do I do? No, this is the time you do the things you want to do because there is no pressure that you got to be somewhere at a certain time. So now we can't even make that excuse. But we make that excuse because we're so used to making that excuse. You see, it's become a momentum that's grown so powerful that we can't even sit still when we're told to sit still. When we've been given the gift to sit still, we can't even do that. It took me a freaking 2-3 weeks to even sit still, to figure out that this is a present, this is a gift. So this is just the bigger picture of your question, but let's come back to your question a little bit more, because it's such a beautiful question. So following your ease to get to your clarity, right? Following your ease, once you get to the clarity, my goodness, the only way to get to clarity is to focus, right? The number one thing you guys gotta do is focus. Focus means you don't let people sway you. You almost have to start replacing the old habit way of doing things. The old habit way of doing things is school did not teach us how to love ourselves, so we don't think we're worthy. We don't think we deserve good things. So anytime that things are good in any way, we literally don't give it the time of day to milk it. We don't milk it. We don't go, oh my God, this is amazing. Give me more of this, please. Yes, please. We don't actually say, yes, please, more, please. We always say, oh, I hope it doesn't end. Oh, this is too good. I hope it doesn't end. Do you see what the underlying frequency that we are at without even knowing we do that? We do it by default because we were never taught. In school, they teach us formal classes, math, English, science, but no one is teaching how to focus. And yet they tell you to focus. You better focus, girl. You better focus if you want to get good grades. You better focus if you want a good relationship. Like focus on your relation. No one taught us how to focus. We had to figure that ourselves, right? So after many years of not practicing focus, coming to practice is like any muscle in our body. It gets stronger when you train it. So when you start saying, I'm going to start focusing from now on, I'm going to replace the way that we've been taught to do things. I'm going to replace it with things that feel good to me. So things that feel good to me. The universe, the energy does not care where you find your joy, as long as you're in flow or joy or ease. So let me ask you a question to kind of give you a clear understanding of why I just said that. If you watered a garden bed, will the weeds grow or will the flowers grow? Which will grow if you water a garden bed full of things?
I think flowers.
Well,
right?
if it's a garden bed you're watering, if there's weeds and there's flowers, which will grow? Both will grow.
Both grow.
Yeah, because what you water will grow. So it's the same with our energy, and we're all made of energy. This world is all energy. So what we water will grow. That means where our awareness goes, energy flows. So we have been putting our awareness on, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it, this is hard, they told me that I should be doing this well by this time, then all of that is not ease. We think that, we even lie to ourselves. We even say things like, I really love what I do. I'm really happy with what I'm doing. But then the underlying tone never lies. Energy does not discriminate between right, wrong, good, bad. It just goes where your energy, where your awareness is. And your underlying awareness is that I'm not having any fun. I love what I do, but I'm not having any fun. I want to have more fun. So whatever it is, we're not just talking for everybody here. It's not just about music and singing. It's about life in general, whether it's a relationship or whether it's like being a lawyer or a doctor or being a writer. It doesn't matter. It all comes down to the same formula. You've got to feel a sense of abundance, a sense of ease, a sense of joy of the things that you want. Or else if the underlying tone is, I wish I had more, I want more, I don't feel like I have enough, then that is more of what you're attracting. You're attracting more of the underlayer things, which you cannot see. But your life experience is a very telltale sign as to where your underlying tone is. And that's why it's so good that you recognize that. You're like, something is wrong. This is not the way it should be. I feel like something's off. And that's a good thing that you're already that aware. Because that is why you now are asking questions. And in your asking questions, this is where you break patterns. This is it. Right here. You can't go backwards, Diane, and neither can any of you guys. You can't know something and unknow it. Especially right now when things are changing so rapidly. Life did not stop. This big show that the universe is putting on, this grand show, it's a grand show because the whole freaking world is in unison, even if they don't like it. The whole world is shut down. No businesses, whether they like it or not. You got to work home or work out or stay home or, go out only for groceries. Whatever it is. If this big show is being put on, you think this show is going to end so everything can just go back to normal?
No, and I feel so lucky to just have a community of people that include people like yourself. Like I'm just trying to use this time to reevaluate all that. Be like, when we go back to normal, which we won't, there's no going back, there's only a new normal that will be created. How do I want to show up? Do I want to show up scrambling and scraping for remnants of my old life, being like,
exactly,
please, can I serve at your restaurant so I can please be the starving artist that I had this idea of who I want? Everything's jumbled, everything's changing, so I'm just embracing it. It's been fucking scary to just
you've been doing a good job. You've been doing a good job because look at what you're attracting, right? So when you had that question, I knew that question right away. I felt it come through me. I knew that question that you had was you in the beginning of learning flow, but I couldn't tell you about it. You had to experience it yourself. So I just had to say, hey, listen, why don't you just put this together? I'll answer it out, and you know, whatever you need. What do you need? Because you need to experience the flow. Did you not feel a type of flow where it was effortless? Like,
oh, for sure.
Like it was effortless.
And already, like, I don't know if maybe I was in the back of her mind because I was setting this up, but my cousin has already asked me to lead a workout in a charity Zoom thing she's doing next month. So, like,
good.
It's just really cool to see how you kind of drop a penny, you know, or you like kind of
no pun intended.
yeah, exactly. You know, not wishing well or whatever, and like it's just strange to me that like. So then I wonder, how come I've never really done that as a singer and as an actor? Like, I still find myself showing up being like, I hope this is good enough. Here you go.
When you say done that, you mean the flow, right?
Yeah, like I've never really been able to hold my power.
Because you want it so badly. You see that word, want it so badly? When you and me and all of us, all you guys there and you guys over here too, when you want something so badly, you can't have it. You can't. You have to want it enough to let it go. Detachment. You know the law of detachment. It sounds like, what? You mean give up what I want? No, not give up what you want. Stop being so restricting around what you want. Yeah, you're almost suffocating it. So when we talk about life is all energy, the universe works in energy, then you got to remember that the thing that you are suffocating is not going to flow. So this universe does not judge yes or no. There is no yeses and nos. Everything is a yes, yes, yes. It's an inclusion-based universe. We all know that. It's all inclusion-based. If you say no to something, you get to experience more of that something. You say yes to something, you get to experience more of that something. It's all inclusion-based, right? As soon as you put your focus into it, whether it's a yes or no, it doesn't matter. So when you say you love music, you get that too. When you say I love music, when can I have it? You get that too, that frequency of lack. So at the end, it's almost like you got to take a break. Take a break because you're too deep into it. We've built this momentum from a long time ago, and I had to step away from things I love to do just to clean up the vibration a little bit before I can come back in with new eyes and fresh outlook. Until then, I've done too much resistance around it to be in it while I try to clean up. I need to step away from it. And that's why you've been given this gift of time to step away from it, girl, and clean up your vibration. That means while you clean up your vibration, you know what that sounds like? As you, as a beautiful musician and singer, I've heard you sing, and you got a voice, girl. And your writing and your poem, like just everything about you, talent is there. You notice that there's so many talented people, and some are not even what we consider talented, but they make it big because it's not about talent anymore. It's about energy, right? It's all in the eye of the beholder. If a person can really own their own energy, feel their self-worth, they attract the same. Look at LeBron James. He's not shameful about his good, like, I'm the best b-ball player ever, right? Because the universe plays big, and you got to play big too. You got to love yourself because the universe loves itself. It does not apologize. The sun doesn't apologize for being hot enough that it burns things down. It just needs to be. The rain does not apologize for flooding things down when it's raining too much because it just needs to be. The universe makes no apology for its magnificence and its grandeur. So you are a part of that universe. So you got to be thinking big and not apologize for it either. That means you got to learn to love yourself. Because when you don't and you start apologizing for stuff, you are no longer matching the frequency of your source, your universe. You're not a part of it. You almost pinch yourself out of your actual who you are. So you got to go back to basics and align back to your source, which is big, powerful, ready to rock and roll, kind as can be, but unapologetic and fiery at the same time, right? You got to know to have those both, the yin and the yang, the polarity of you, the what we call good and the bad. You got to love all of you. If you start rejecting the part of you that's weak or sad sometimes, then you're rejecting a part of you. That means you're rejecting yourself, period. All of you is beautiful. Everything about you, good, bad, because it's all meant to be. So as soon as you feel that bad thing about you, go, oh, there it is again. I got you because I got to have that to have this, to be this.
Wow.
So when you start...
That's a real challenge.
Self-acceptance. But think of it in the bigger picture. you accept yourself completely as you are, the polarity of you, you can accept everyone and the polarity of them. Now you are now at this, you now have lined up to your life force, because that is how it works. The minute you negate anything,
Right.
you cannot attract anything you negate. And you look at it closely, we're all negating everything we want. We are. We're like, I love you, but we're negating it. So negation is just more negation, period. It's all energy, right? I love that you're understanding this. I know you understand it, because I know I won't be saying it if you are not understanding it. And I know that we won't be attracting the audience that don't understand or are ready or wanting to understand this, right?
No, for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny. I find conversations like this are becoming more mainstream. There was a time, like, I forget when I really started. I think I was in college. I read The Power of Now. So that would have been like...
Yes, beautiful book. Beautiful book.
2008, 2009? No, yeah, 2008. And I was like 18, 19, reading this thing, being like, this is the truth. This is like the holy grail of the universe.
Now you need to practice, right?
Yeah.
Because understanding is one thing.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, for sure. And then you could read something that sounds great on a page, but like integrating that into your life and relearning it, right? Like the conversations I have now with my friends and with people who kind of operate on this vibration is like, this never ends. Like you just, you're never done with it once you have this awareness. So once, like, I almost have like a physical sensation sometimes when there's just, you know, for example, today I felt like, all right, tonight's the night, we're doing this chat, like, I want to be my best self, and I was just, like, I was in almost paralysis for the better part of the morning. I'm like, I just want toast and peanut butter for bread, and I just need 5 coffees before I get going, and I've learned to just let myself have that, you know? Like, I operated in such harsh binaries for so long of, like, I'm either going to be perfect every day or not try. And you set yourself up for massive disappointment. Like, that's almost a form of self-sabotage.
Yes.
Then goes back. Like, okay, great. I failed today, so I guess I don't show up tomorrow, and I guess I'm not.
That goes back to not accepting yourself completely. Right. Yeah, because anytime you're not accepting yourself completely and you're judging, then you have now split energy. And as long as you're living in split energy, you can't live in flow zone. You just can't. So going back to flow zone, what's the strategy there? So I come up with a lot of strategies at my seminar. And in fact, I even came up with a webinar, like an online seminar for this time during the pandemic for people. It's called Becoming, what's not what could become, is Become a Greater You. Reset your mindset, become a greater you. It's a seminar, 60-second seminar. So there's lots of strategies there, but I'm going to just share some strategies. Following your ease, taking a break from the thing you want so you can clean up the vibration. That means you go ahead and do the things that feel good to you. So if you love music, then listen to music. Say, I love music, and listen to music. Do everything music related. But anytime it's like a type of thing that makes you feel that little, that resistant, you can feel it. You know what that feels like. We all know what that feels like. There's always a little, I want more. I don't have it. Do I deserve it? I want, that feeling. Okay, that's when you say, oh, this is not my ease right now. So you just go and move. You become this little magnet of ease. Finding ease, think, oh, the dog is so cute. I'm going to go pet it. That feels easy. Pet the dog. Okay, walk around. Oh, this conversation feels easy. Let's have this conversation. As soon as you don't find ease in the thing you're doing, or find fun in the thing you're doing, or find exhilaration in the thing you're doing, minimum is ease. Everything else is better, right? If you can't find that in that moment, then it's not a space that you need to be in that moment. It's because it's not who you truly are. Who you truly are should be the thing that is ease or more. And if you can spend the rest of this pandemic doing that, girl, you would have cleaned your vibration up real good. And when you are already in the process of cleaning up your vibration, you don't have to wait till it's all cleaned up and then you get your reward. No. The minute you start, right? Like you said, even this whole conversation, when you wanted to, to share this question, that the setting up of this, inviting everybody's beautiful souls here, just even that process of it, things are already happening to you and for you. Like, things are popping up. So imagine if you just spend the next 7 days, the next 14 days, just cleaning up your vibration by putting away the things you've been, the music you want to write, the songs you want to sing. put it away for a second and completely say, this is my time. This is my time with the universe. We have an agreement. This is our divine agreement. It's giving me space and opportunity to relax and clean my vibration. I'm not going to waste this time. So I'm going to find all the ease I can, because in finding my ease, I raise my frequency. In raising my frequency, I become a vibrational match to my source again. Until I become a vibrational match to my source again, I am not going to find flow, because my source lives in flow. If I can't be opposite of that, so you got to find your way there again, because you were born in flow, right? We were born to this world happy and loving and all that fun. Like we find things easy. We just want to have fun and play. Somebody told us to stop playing. Somebody told us no more playing. Life is tough. You got to work for what you want. Don't be so happy all the time. So we grew up thinking, oh, okay, I'm not supposed to be happy all the time. Okay, I shouldn't be playing. And as soon as we play, we feel bad. As soon as we have too much fun, we feel bad. Where do you think it came from? Bad conditioning all that time. That's why it's like it has to stop. This whole thing has, boom, right now stop. Why do you think the kids are not in school? They're not in school because school's not teaching those things. So it's up to the parents now while they're home to let them be children, to really allow them to grow up keeping that side of them, that they love themselves, that they deserve the best, right? School's not teaching that. So
shout out to all parents, by the way. You guys
shout out to all parents. Yeah, right? So do you see what's happening? There's so much more than meets the eye. So much more is happening than just that one question about how do I find flow, or how do I, do the thing I love. You end up doing the thing you love naturally, and all opportunities around it will flow to you naturally the minute you find your flow. So that is number one. Number one, your job is just to find your flow. So if it has to do with putting away the thing you love for a moment so you can clean up your vibration about it, then that's what you do. So it's not that you're giving up. You're actually giving in and giving your best.
I like that. Oh, I've got such sexy notes. I'm going to post a picture. It's not giving up, it's giving in. I love that.
You're so true. So finding your flow, I want you to just spend the next, how about I challenge you guys for the next, not even 7 days, the next day, just the next 24 hours. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you're literally going to say, I'm going to play a game, because life is about a game. When we were still children, we'd be playing, but someone told us to stop playing. But you're supposed to play. So go back and play games. So tomorrow morning, you're going to play a game. You're going to wake up and going to be like, I am going to only look for things that make me feel at least ease. It doesn't have to feel good. It doesn't have to feel like, woohoo, that I have to like be exhilarated. It just has to feel easy, feel neutral or better, right? I'm going to only talk to things, do things, be things, whatever that is neutral, ease, or better. That's how I follow my flow, right? And anything that doesn't resemble that, you don't negate it, because negation takes you away from that source again. You don't go, oh, that's bad, I don't want that. No. What you focus on, you get. So even if you say that's bad, I don't want it, your awareness goes, your energy flows, right? You don't say no. You don't say it's bad. You just say, not there right now. Somewhere else, yes, please. Like not there for now. I don't want to go there for now. Maybe another day, but right now, not there. So you never negate something as wrong or bad, because it isn't. It's polarity of life. It's dichotomy. That means two opposites are meant to exist in order for the world to be what it is. So anytime you negate, you're already off the flow zone. So no negation. It's all just going, oh, not there today, maybe another day, and then off you go to another flow, another place. Pretty soon you're going to get so good at flowing, your frequency is going to raise, things are just going to come in, and you don't really have to try so hard. Phone calls will happen. Someone will just email you, and then suddenly you're like, oh, and someone invites you to something, you're like, oh, and it's all very flowy. Like you don't have to do a lot. That's what I mean by, how do you do it? Through the path of least resistance. It has to be through the path of least resistance. So you're finding everything that is of ease, then everything can happen for you through the path of least resistance. Otherwise, it's the opposite of that. And who wants to live the opposite of that? It's not fun.
I think for me too, I have a lot of judgment or a lot of fear around like, well, if I just let myself be happy, then what? I'm gonna like just be like living in my parents' house forever. I'm just gonna like do nothing then. I'm just gonna like be okay with not having a paycheck. Like I had checked off all these boxes that I thought were gonna make my life have meaning, and then like in the course of 3 months, they're all gone. And now I'm like, okay, so what matters now? But but there's still a little bit of fear of like, am I just going to take webinars for like the rest of the year and be like on this like namaste journey and like,
So
what the fuck am I doing?
yeah. So you see how your momentum has already been in that space for so long that it's not something you can just change overnight. So it goes back to that book you read, Power of Now. This is where you implement the power of now. Because if you're not here, you're somewhere else. And the somewhere else is in here. Like you're saying, it's all about reviewing the past and rehearsing the future. You're not here. But here means right now. Anytime that you start to feel uneasy is because you're not here. Period. You're just not here. Because if you're here, what problem do you have right now? And that's what the power of now will tell you. What problem do you have right now? Nothing. There's no problem. I'm drinking a glass of Prosecco. I'm having a conversation. I'm not thinking about my dad. I'm not thinking about no job. I'm not thinking about my living in my parents' house. Like all the things they're saying right now, you're not thinking, none of that exists. It only exists as frequency. If you want to tag onto that frequency, you become, yes, you can. Because life is a whole bunch of radio frequencies. And you can tune your dial to any frequency you want to experience any kind of song you want. And you've been tuning to one type of frequency, listen to the same old song. That song is no longer serving you. It's time for you to turn that dial to a different radio station. And as you're turning that dial to a different radio station, as you are doing right now, you might hear a little bit of static, right? You're in between radio stations right now. So you're going to hear a lot of static. But you got to know how to live through the static a little bit, because it will just go away, and then you'll end up in that clear station. So while you're living in that static for a little bit, you can't come in and out of that static and go back to that old station because you're too scared. Right? That old station. You're like, oh, I'm going back to the station. It's safer there. Right? So then you almost want to stay there because if you feel you're safer there, it's a predictable place, a familiar place. So yes. This needs to be done little by little. And that's why, I think you guys should do my 60-minute seminar, because then I explain how to move out of the zone. How to move out of the zone, because right now you understand sort of like the overall picture, but how do you implement it? Like you say, how do you apply it? The strategy of applying yourself so you don't end up going in your head all the time, thinking about the past. Will I make it? I do want to live in the moment. I'm trying to live in the moment, but I'm having a tough time. Just the fact that you're trying to live in the moment, you're not living in the moment, because trying to do something is already a resistant. So you're like, oh, okay, then I'm freaking doomed. I'm trying and I can't even try. Trying is wrong. Like you're like, no, it's not that, it's wrong. But do you see where the energy is going? You can tell. You don't even have to worry about the words you're using. You don't have to think about the thoughts you're having. You just have to be aware of the emotion you're having. Is the emotion one of these? No. Then chances are what you think you're trying to do is not helpful. Just go by the emotion. Is it at least neutral? Is it at least bringing me to a better feeling place? Yeah, it is. It's bringing me to a better feeling place right now. That means you're going the right spot, right? You're going the right direction, right? It's little by little. It doesn't have to be like, ooh, got to be like
fireworks. And that's revolutionary. Like, not to go back to my little story from this morning, but like it's taken me years to be okay with like, this day doesn't have to go any specific way. 8 o'clock is going to come. The chat's going to happen. And I'm whole and complete and valuable, whether or not I work out or whether or not I eat perfect or like, and the shining example of everything I say I want to be. Like, it's just, it makes you really like mentally not well when you hold those expectations.
Yeah.
Like,
so
all the time,
Exactly. So really what it comes down to is applying the strategies, like the practices, to replace all that stuff. Like basically energy cannot be created or destroyed. You know this. This is law of thermodynamics. This is energy science. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, meaning you can't just try and get rid of that old pattern. You can only replace it, because it can only change from one form to another. So if you try to get rid of it, again, anything you try to rid of, you're reaching for it. Anything you try to rid of, you're amplifying the lack of it, right? That's how energy works. So you're not going to focus on those things. You're just going to say, yeah, I know they're there. I'm going to forgive myself because it's part of my polarity, my other end, right? My yin and my yang is part of who I am. I can't just say, I like this part of me and I don't like this part of me. You just split yourself again. Let's go, that's part of who I am. I'm humaning. Good. My humaning is what makes me ask questions. My humaning is what makes me expand and grow. And without that expansion and growth, I wouldn't have a lot of things that I have. So it's a good thing that I have my polarity, my yin and the yang. So every time that happens, you have to say, there it is again. I love it. I love that I have that. So thank you. So I'm going to just sit here for a moment about it, but I'm not going to beat myself about it. I'm just going to look for my next better ease, better feeling thing I can do, whatever it is. Maybe it's just taking a nap, and I'll just take a nap. Not being so hard on yourself. And that's how you slowly learn to love yourself and change that energy around. And until you can slowly learn to respect and love yourself in that way and change that energy around, that will lead you. And then that will lead you to what you need to do next, right? So number one is finding your own flow, loving yourself, accepting all of you, the good, the bad, the ugly. And then finding your ease every day for the next 24 hours, literally just going to, if you can't point at that something, I call it play the pointing game. If you can't point at that something and go, yes, please. If you can't point at something and say, yes, please, or more, please, to that thing you're pointing at, then you better point somewhere else. Move that radio dial somewhere else. Then, like, you know what I'm saying? That's all. Just play that game. Just go, can I point and say yes, please, to that? Nope, not right now. Can I? Nope, not right now. Oh, yes, I could say yes to that. So keep it simple and play games like we used to play games. And life is all a game, right? So you play a game. I'm going to play a pointing game tomorrow. Yes, please. I'm only going to pay attention to anything I can say yes, please, to. I'm going to do that for the entire 24 hours. See what happens. Because chances are, if you feel good about it, you're going to do it again naturally, right? You don't have to force yourself. And you want to play and see what the universe brings back to you when you play the high frequency games. Well, I call them high frequency games because they don't put you in a place of resistance. And when you're not in the place of resistance, your frequency or your vibration naturally rises. So if you're playing these games, you're going to rise. And then when you rise, only things of the same frequency can come to meet you. But if you're down here, things of this frequency comes to meet you. And then you're like, whoa, why do bad things happen to good people? Doesn't matter how good you are, if your frequency is low because you're always self-doubting, then you're still going to attract more of that self-doubting type of energy and that type of stories, no matter how good of a person we are, right? So being good has nothing to do with it. It's where your awareness is. Where's your real awareness? So I challenge you guys for just the next 24 hours to play the yes, please game. If I pointing game, yes, please, or never say no, just say next, right?
Yeah.
No negation in this world. You don't negate. So you play the pointing game, you find your ease and do everything that makes you feel at least neutral or better, okay? So I'm going to say neutral or better. I'm going to check in and make sure you guys are actually doing this game, okay? Pointing game, ease or better. And just know that it is getting darker, isn't it? Let me turn on the lights. Can you see me? Can you still see me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to just turn on the lights so you can see me better. There we go. Yeah, much better. So here's the thing. We think that our purpose in life is that we got to do the thing we love, which is, whether it's for you, it's music and writing and singing. And for some people, maybe it's accounting or being a real estate agent, or for some people, a store clerk, whatever. You think you have to find that purpose, this purpose of mine, because they taught you that in school. But look at how many people are miserable, in debt from schooling and stressed out, not even doing what they love, only doing what they're doing just to make money. Like, it is not working, right? Majority of people are not happy. Finding your purpose, right? We talk about that. We all have the same purpose. You, me, I don't care who it is, billionaires, whoever. We all have the same purpose. And the purpose is that at the deeper level, we are to serve each other. Meaning, we are to shine a spotlight on how beautiful our world is already as it is. That's our purpose. Our purpose here is to shine a spotlight on how beautiful the world is as it is, how beautiful everyone is as it is. And we can do that through any means we choose. We do that through any means we choose. So I may do that through the means of, wellness, to shine a spotlight on how beautiful the world is. That's what I believe. You're going to do it through your music. You shine a spotlight on how beautiful this world is. So your music is really, so the thing is, we're all serving a purpose, which is we are being of service. We're being of service in a positive way, period. How we do it is based on what our interest is. So if your interest is music, you're doing it through music. At the end of the day, a purpose is still the same. You and I are both just serving humanity. and we're shining a spotlight on how beautiful the world is as it is, period. And if we can't shine a spotlight on how beautiful the world is, or we can't see the positive, then what we're doing, we're just doing it on the surface. We don't really live our purpose. A lot of people just kind of, that's why some people who like musicians or actors, why do you think they make it big? And you think they're happy, they have all this fame and money and whatever, fortune, but then they go and kill themselves. Or they go and drug out. They want to be high all the time. They don't want to be in reality mode. Why do you think it's happening? It's because they haven't found the purpose. They're like, why am I doing this? I'm really good at it. I make a lot of money at it. People love me. But why am I doing this? I want to know what my purpose is. I'm not clear about my purpose. So as long as you're not clear about your purpose, it doesn't matter how good it looks like on the surface. It will not be fulfilling. And so that's why it's very important when you ask this question, you got to find that purpose before you even go into your singing more, or your acting, or your writing more. You got to get to the source and start from there. So you're taking these steps back right now, not because you're going backwards. You're taking these steps back to tend to what matters most, which is tending it from the source of the matter. Find the purpose first. Know why you're doing it. Not just because it feels good, or because people told me it's good. I've seen it as a child that, I get a lot of attention. I did a lot of things to get attention because I didn't have a lot as a child. So growing up, I chose everything that gave me attention. I was acting, I was modeling. I thought I was doing it because I loved it. But then later I realized doing it was because I didn't have any attention as a child, and I was gravitating to anything that was giving me attention. But that's not purpose, because when I was doing it, it wasn't like I was totally happy. I was feeling so much resistance around it. But then when I stepped away from it, when I found my flow first, my flow led me into the space again, but it's not a space that looks the same, meaning I'm still, look at me, I'm still acting and talking and performing and entertaining. But I'm not doing it the way I used to do it, where I go for auditions, where I have to sit in a room with 100 other people and try and get one role. Like, it could very well be that for me, but it didn't. It happened this way instead, where I'm on, webinars, or I'm teaching online, or I'm getting on stage, but I'm speaking a different type of language for a different audience. And I'm happy because I'm still in front of the camera. But I never would have known that there's this part of being an entertainer, or a speaker, or a trainer, or coach, whatever. I didn't know there was this part of the work that I could do it in this way. I just thought if I was a coach or a trainer, then I'm a coach or a trainer. I didn't realize I could still be in front of the camera. I didn't realize I could still be doing the things I love and still fulfilling. So what I'm saying is, you guys never know how many avenues there are to satisfy the thing you love to do. Right now, you're constricted to thinking that it has to be to a stage show. I have to write a song, make a record, or else it's not going to go anywhere. You would be surprised when you're in your flow zone that thousands of opportunities that can come in different ways, and you find yourself doing the thing you love, but you never thought to have done it that way before. And that idea will come to you once you find your flow. You're going to have a way of doing it that no one's been doing it like that before. It's just your way. You came up with it. It's new, right? And you're like, wow, I never knew that music could be done through this method.
Yeah.
So find out what that is, and you don't have to find out. You just have to live your ease, and it will come to you.
I want to zero in on another little aspect of my question, and then maybe open it up to anybody else
Absolutely.
who's still in the chat and is thinking about something or has a question for Penny. We can take some time to listen to those, since we're in a nice, cozy, intimate group tonight. And I also want to give you a chance to, like that PR? You like that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, numbers are not a thing. I was happy to do this one-on-one on the phone, and then I was like, wait, but like I can kind of have like a friend in Burlington and a girlfriend I haven't seen in a while, and they'll probably show up. So I'm just grateful for anybody who's willing to share this energy.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
But okay, so, and then I also want to give you a chance to talk about like next steps if you want to continue this conversation with you.
Sure.
And your webinar that you mentioned earlier, because we all got time for lots of webinars. Or I do. I love them. I booked myself for for shit that I know I'm not going to do just because I love to see my full agenda. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to learn about this at 9. Like, forever a geek. It's
There's
funny.
nothing wrong with that.
It kind of watch that about me. I'm like, oh, so I think Tuesday is more valuable if I stack it with appointments. Like, then I just, don't. But anyway, the bit I want to chat a little further on is, so we're talking about finding flow, like finding this ease. What can we speak to, or what insight can you offer when you think you've got this thing that feels really good, but you're still finding yourself creating, like I mentioned, plan B, plan C, just in case, like, I know I want to shine, but like, okay, I could still be happy if I, eventually move to Hamilton and just do community theater and maybe focus more on like the gym stuff. Like, maybe I'll manage a gym. Like, these are real thoughts I have sometimes.
Okay.
And I can tell that I'm just trying to bubble wrap the dream because it's so precious.
So let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you for a second because something came through.
Yes.
Would you complain? Would you complain if you felt fulfilled in your life? Would you complain?
If I felt personally fulfilled? No.
Yes. Okay. So if you felt fulfilled, you wouldn't complain. So does it matter how that fulfillment came?
No.
Exactly.
Quick. You're so quick.
So,
like a ninja with the feeling.
So perhaps your plan A, B, C, D, just put it aside for now. Let's go back to basic. Go back to that game I told you to play. Because what happens is there is an infinite number of ways where things can happen for us. There's not one road or one way to do something. There's infinite ways to get around it, right? People say you can't do it like this, and then everyone's doing it like that. They tell Steve Jobs they can't do it like that. Steve Jobs did it like that. They tell Elon Musk he can't do that. He did it. Like I'm saying, people have all kinds of things to say when they can't do it themselves. So don't listen to the peanut gallery, right? You just have to remember that there's a million, infinite numbers of ways for things to happen for you. But when you think small and you constrict yourself to the way it should happen like this, because if it doesn't happen like this, that means I have to make sure I have plan B and C and D, because then if I have those, then it could happen in plan B, could happen this way, C could happen. You have just compartmentalized, you have just completely restricted the infinite flow of things that can happen for you. And in that constricting, you're resisting at the same time. So you see how everything is shutting down? And then you feel lost, and you're stuck between that two stations, and you're in a static, and you just don't understand what's happening. You want to tune to a new radio station, but you can't, because you gotta let it go and realize that you are so loved. You, me, we're all so loved by this life force, this energy, because this energy, like I said, it thinks big. It only moves big. It doesn't play small. So when you start playing small, and you start thinking, how if this doesn't work, then I got to do this. Now you completely pinched off yourself from your true nature, which is of higher energy. So then all of a sudden, how do you expect all these infinite possibilities of things that can happen in all the funniest ways, through me or through somebody you never met? And then all of a sudden you trip one day and you fell, and then you fell on, and you found a business card that was like, you reached out to like, this person, maybe you found a wallet or something. This person turns out to be like a famous producer. He goes, listen, I just love that, if you return my wallet, is there anything I could do for you? Let me listen to your music. Like, you cannot even think of all these things that can happen to you, but you are already blocking them from happening because you got plan A, B, C, and D.
Right.
You got to drop all those plans, and this is the time to do it, because you don't have any pressure to get anything done in this red hot minute. Drop the plans. Just say to the universe, or say that I just want to be in flow zone. I just want to live in flow zone, and I would be so happy to feel fulfilled. I just want to feel fulfilled. I want to live in flow zone, and I want to feel fulfilled. And you leave the rest. Okay, you leave out the details because you got no details. You don't know who, you don't know when, you don't know how. If you try to stick to the who, when, how that you don't have answers to, you continue to stay in resistant mode. That means you continue to stay in between stations, in the static, no flow. You gotta let it go. Once you let it go, then the bigger energy can work through you. Until then, nothing can work through you except for your own resistance. That's what I said. I said to the bigger picture, I'm so done trying to draw my picture of life because my parents told me, my school told me, growing up they told me, you better have a goal. You better know what it looks like. You better,
Yeah.
Oh my God, the pressure of not understanding how it looks like and trying to pretend I know and trying to force it. That's the downfall for most of us, is that we keep ourselves in that smaller space because that's how we were conditioned. I had to break out of that, and I still do at times. It comes back, right? Old energy, because energy doesn't get destroyed or cannot be created. It just keeps changing form. Some days, if I'm feeling really low, sometimes that little bit of remnants from the past can come through, but I know better, so it doesn't stay too long. Boom, out it goes, right? But it takes practice to be to feel that and to be able to, boom, there it goes. So in the meantime, I had to do that. I had to realize that I got to put away how it has to happen, who's going to happen with, how much I got to make, how it's going to be, boom, 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 boom. I got to put that away because at the end of the day, you and I, we want what we want because we believe that we would feel better in the having of it. So that means ultimately all we want is to feel better. So what does it matter what has to happen for us to feel better? And what does it matter what has to happen for us to feel fulfilled? If we're feeling those things we're wanting to feel, we're not going to complain how it came. Whether it comes through a relationship that happens to be your life partner that you end up singing with, or whether it happens to be where you have no singing whatsoever and you end up in a gym, and this gym somehow later in life, you run into a band member, and the band member, you guys get married. Like, you have no freaking idea, right? But until you let go those restrictions, plan A, B, C, Ds, and Fs, and whatever, none of those stories can happen. And you're the only one holding it off. You're the exceptional holdout. I'm not just talking about you, I'm talking about all of us. And I love that you shared this, and I feel like I'm like throwing it at you only.
Oh, does it only let us? I'm so sorry, Penny. I'm seeing 1 minute and 51 seconds remaining. Does it only let us talk like this for an hour?
I don't know.
Something just popped up and said 1 minute. Okay, so if we get cut off, I'm very sorry.
That's okay. We just pop in again.
But
we can just pop in and say bye.
Yeah, we'll start it again.
We just pop in and say bye.
Done Instagram.
We can just pop in and say hi.
No, I'm so tired. That question, honestly, your launch question there of if you felt fulfilled, would that make you happy? There was a time not too long ago where, are you familiar with Enneagram personality test? A friend got me onto that, and I'm like super into it. Anyways, in the Enneagram, there's like 7 or 8 personalities. Anyways, I'm a type 3, which is an individualist or something. Someone help me out. Okay, the point being, type 3s are very motivated by like an external opinion of you, and just being aware of that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't change that. There's still, who chooses to do the personal call on Instagram Live? I want people to be like,
right,
look what we're talking about. But it's not necessarily bad. It's like,
no.
I want to be part of something that feels like we're in this thing together.
Yeah.
Like, it's my desire to connect that makes me want to show up a certain way and be seen a certain way.
Yeah.
But like, just watching that, I'm sharing all this because I said I wanted to share this tough stuff, and like, it's hard sometimes to think, oh, I'm going to learn about this, or this is my yes. Like, I'm playing this pointing game, right? I'm going this yes. But then to have that moment of just like a little higher watchful part of me that goes, is it really a yes, or are you just hoping that you're going to
that's already a no.
Receive something?
And that's already a no right now. Not no, but like no for now. Like, not, right? You should be feeling like neutral or ease. So guess what? We're going to have to start this again.
All right, everybody. Hello.
How many of you believe in the notion that your thoughts have some effect on your future experiences? Just put up your hands if you believe that. You're going to learn is you're going to discover how to train your brain to think beyond negative circumstances. Replace stressful thoughts so you can improve your mood quicker. question I have for you is, what is a challenge you're experiencing in life right now that you would like to overcome? Science has been telling us for centuries now that energy creates matter. Then wouldn't it make sense to tend to your energy first so you can easily create you're so powerful because your thoughts produce emotions, and the emotion offers a frequency, and that frequency is your energy, and your energy is what creates your attitude and your mood, and your attitude and your mood is what determines the quality of your experiences. Now, this scale reveals how every emotion offers a frequency, and that's why some people, they thrive at the worst of times, and some people suffer at the best of times. What does that tell you? And what do I mean by you have time to change your mind? A thought you have reaches a combustion point at 17 seconds of pure. You can't feel good right now, but you can always feel better. What do I mean by that? So, how are you going to apply this to that limiting thought, that challenge you want to overcome, the one you wrote down? How are you going to create less resistance? How do you raise your frequency about it? How do you improve the outcome around it? You change your thoughts, you change your energy. You change your energy, you change the outcome. Period. First, you have to shift perspective. So we're going to do that together. It has been an honor and a pleasure to serve all of you today. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
So thank you for everyone who joined us tonight, and I will end this video now. So have a wonderful night, everyone.